Welcome to the bold analysis. There is quick succession of election exposés. Now, Kenyans are wondering because it is some of them and all of them are merely coming 6 months after the general election. The timing is a bit skeptical because there seems to be a feeling that the country had moved forward. And it's not really right to entirely blame on those we call election losers, because even the winners have continued to speak, have been speaking about what happened in the last election. For the last 6 months, they've been in power. And they've been insisting on this. It all started when the president also spoke about murder claims on Wafula Chebukati. So we are into it, whether we are silent, whether we are talking about it, but the political class is in it. I have a feeling, and I agree that maybe Kenyans have moved on, but the politicians have not moved on. And it's not when there's a mere win only, both sides. What's going on? After the whistleblower report that first started off was actually leaked out first by Robert Alai. Robert Alai is back again with another leaked video. And I think it's a trailer or a promo of an upcoming expose on what happened in the last general election. So I think it was posted in his Twitter page yesterday. So it's not something that it's new, it's something that has been in public for some time. And maybe have a look at it before we dive deep. And what do you make up of this?
It was all British flag, and they were the ones who created it. We had warned them that, in the past, Kenyan elections, there have been violence, particularly with Odinga supporters, and they insisted on it. The head person was Marriott, and that's just how it went, so many people involved. It had so many people involved, many of which didn't even know what they were doing. Like, when the commotion happened at the talent center in Nairobi, when the other commissioners left and the chairman insisted on reading the results. And you can remember after that, the Archbishop said a prayer. He was directed by the Archbishop of Canterbury. He didn't know. It's a long time of things. From judges, commission, intelligence, security, involves a lot of money.
Guys, What do you think? Because this is, I don't know what to make up of that clip. What could be what is assessment in that clip? That's a promo. I think it's coming over somewhere hapa mbele. I am also wondering, and also just like a Kenyan, I agree with the general consensus that this is water under the bridge. The focus should be on the coming election 2027. And again, as much as you want to focus on 2027, if you don't get what was wrong in the past, I don't think it only shows that I don't think there is nothing wrong by planning 2027 by just asking yourself questions on what happened in the past. Otherwise, you'll also plan again and plunge yourself into another political blunder. So what's going on? What is going on? What is the main purpose of this? And it's simply, it's the target is communicating one thing, that Ruto never won fairly. That is what this consistent. I know the other one was on the 8 million. Now, it's not a coincidence that both of them, even the whistleblower report before it was released, it started off from Robert Alai. Just Jeremiah Kire akakuja akafanya press conference. Then this one now came up from Robert Alai, and you never know then who is going to release it. I've been wondering about why they've been going, it's coming over from Robert Alai, because is it that this whistleblower is connected to him, or they're using him because he's a blogger and he has social media following, so it's a bit of taking who has the influence. It's a question maybe we'll yet to get into. Listening to that clip, it's narrowing the rigging. It's speaking about rigging, and it's narrowing the election malpractice claim on UK. And that voice of the UK, speaking about UK, is telling it all. And maybe that is where the objective is. I may be wrong, maybe making a wrong observation here, but the fact that on that expose they're talking about UK, maybe that's where the objective is. Technically, it absorbs, or rather sanitizes of the US of any election meddling claim. I don't know what do you think. But there's something has always been bothering me here. Why are these superpowers so much interested into Kenyan election or Africa? But I don't want to say Africa, just say Kenya. And I feel with them, you see the way the other prime minister resigned and Sunak took over, and they seem to be enjoying their democracy. But why has this one in Africa, or in Kenya, being a bit of just disruptions here and there? And when you hear of these disruptions, it's from them. The plane comes, it's US, it's okay, it's US, it's okay. I've always wondered, what is their interest, surely? That they can't get that interest through other people, and it must be through meddling. I don't know. Why not Speaker of the National Assembly to influence? Why not even getting proxies in government to pursue your dealings? I've always been wondering about that. I think, guys, who is behind these video clips? Who is behind these leakages? Is it about time then we come to an agreement that something is amiss or something is going on within the IEBC? Who is behind them? It's all about, we are only taking speculative aspects, but then who is about them? Nani anatoa hizi? And one thing I can say from what I'm making, Azimio, and there seems to be a push to tell the people of Kenya that Ruto did not win fairly. And from what I see, there is a push and expect a big campaign to dethrone President Ruto. 2027 is a coup election, let me tell you. Is a coup. You know, what is going on here is that they're building emotions, or rather they're building a narrative. And when narrative thinks that, look here, President did not win. So what we need to go is, we need to go to 2027 to take back the power. I'm seeing that somewhere. I'm seeing that somewhere. That there seems to be sinking the message on the people's minds that you need to take back the power. We need to take back our victory. It can't be taken back before 2027. I beg to agree with that it cannot be taken back to 2027. So I think the president and Kenya Kwanza should brace for a very big contest in 2027. Because these guys are not relenting. I know they might have been seen as people when you're menyeshewa and there's no stake and there's nothing, there's something being communicated. So what is the end game with the two narratives that these leakages, or rather these exposés bring? Number one is the rigging narrative, and number two is the legitimacy question. So when you bring this, when you successfully tell Kenya, because I think from what I'm seeing, someone wants to successfully convince Kenyans and tell Kenyans that, look here, don't believe things you are seeing, election was rigged. Now the rigging counters Uhuru's meddling claims by Kenya Kwanza. While Azimio have been insisting that rigging was on the infrastructure and the election alteration results process, Kenya Kwanza are saying those results are genuine, but there was an attempt to meddle with the elections using the security. You know, those are the two arguments on the table. No one is saying that there was no interference. And Azimio have insisted that the interference was from the foreign powers. It was aided by the foreign powers. But Kenya Kwanza are silent about that question. They are neither defending the foreign powers involvement. By the way, the president has not come out publicly, and not anywhere in Kenya Kwanza to say that wachana na US, wachana na America, hawa watu hawakuingilia uchaguzi yetu. They're simply saying that Uhuru and some security apparatus wanted to disrupt the results. Okay? So they have not come out to defend it. Maybe through this, we may see. I listened to Musalia Mudavadi, and he did not say directly. In fact, I'm waiting for Kenya Kwanza to come out and say directly that nyinyi UK, US na hizi nchi za nje hazikuingilia na uchaguzi na hazikutusaidia, so msiongelee. I'm waiting for that. I've not seen that. Now, on the legitimacy, it emotionally charges the masses because claims are coming and the masses are now receiving them. And this could be a strategy to lay the ground for upcoming political programs that Azimio team might be trying to bring on fold. When you listen to press conferences, they're saying that when Raila comes back, they're going to give a direction or their next course of action. So this could also be strategies, and they provide grounds for Azimio to spill, or rather to launch the next course of action. The more you tell Ruto, and this is what many people must also see, the more you tell Ruto he didn't win an election, the more you make him, or you try to tell him to make more inroads in the opposition turf. Yeah. I know as these claims are going on, the president can call Chebukati and ask Chebukati, tulishinda uchaguzi ama kulikuwaje? Ama sawa, hata kama mambo haikuwa sawa, hata kama kulikuwa na ukarabati, ulikarabati ngapi? So that ajue yeye alipata kura ngapi. The more you bring this discussion, I can tell you, you can look at Twitter, people are making noise saying Azimio are this and that. But the president is equally concerned and just asking questions in terms of, what did I get as I prepare for 2022? Is it the true representation of what I got? If I got 200,000 votes, then tell me, 200,000. Ruto can equally get worried because look at 2017, and I'm going to look at this analysis. Votes have been increasing. Raila increased his vote basket by, I think, nearly 6.7 to 6.10. And you can look at it. Technically, you can be dethroned. Kitu kidogo tu, naweza rushwa nje. And when Musalia Mudavadi goes blunt, when they can't, in 2017, they were so much influential and they were the people at the center of it. But when they go blunt, because when in government you have the burden of an incumbency and things are not going on well, this can be fueled and it can get out of hand. But How does this legitimacy issue play? What is exactly is playing out? I see hostility being measured on Ruto's failures. That when people are reminded that, oh, this is not the way things are supposed to be, then they tend to be very hostile to the government of the day when things are not going their way. So as government tries to say, brace yourself for 2023, a very hard 2023, we're going to tax everything that is taxable. You've seen another report of spying on M-Pesa transactions so that you can be taxed there. So when those hostilities, when those comes, there is a lot of measure and target looking at the government, what government is doing right or is doing wrong. To some extent, it helps the population because government will then feel the pressure. Then that hostility comes up. Could this could also be a strategy to bring President Ruto in the political ring? And when it's brought on the political ring, I can tell you that will be diversionary. And you know, he's campaigned on success, on doing everything. You bring him to the campaign trail, he speaks more of the campaign and forgets about the plan. Then when elections are coming, you remind him, where is the plan? So the president must also be very strategic because this can bring him to the fold. From what I see, I know and I understand that Raila cannot plan a coup against President Ruto. No, I don't think that's the end game here. But the end game could start a people-centered constitutional process. Changing the constitution, and this could touch on many issues that have really been named here. Presidency, National Talent Center, they now start talking about the IEBC, and it could then start there. When you have told people that this thing went this, then they were told, now what is the solution? They'll tell you, let's send the constitution and let's have X, Y, Z. The process is yet to derail. As that goes on, I see that is the end game. There are two things that will happen. One is people-centered constitutional process, the popular initiative. Number two is the legitimacy push, like what started in Nairobi, like the city demonstrations. It might take, those are the two issues I'm seeing on the table. Those are the two next course of action I'm seeing on the table. I'm also waiting to see whether these Western powers are coming out also to disown and speak on this video clips, or they will be trashed as hogwash. Let's wait and see.